Hi, my name is Matthew Gullet, and I'll be presenting strategies for routine requests and common examples of routine requests. Chapter 10 focuses on writing routine and positive messages. When communicating with anyone as a representative of a business, it is important to display tact. It is necessary to understand how to write a request that sends a positive message. Being aware of how the audience will perceive the request while understanding the most effective way to present it will build relationships. When we discuss how having an effect, we will discuss how having an effective strategy for writing routine business requests and replies will send the right message. Chapter 10 also touches on a few common types of routine requests and replies. We will address these and show how best to handle the different situations. Next slide. An effective strategy for writing routine requests is to first state the request or main idea. Focus on the tone. Since this is not an unusual request, assume that the audience will comply. Also be specific as to what you want. Next slide. Give necessary details to explain what is justified, explain and justify the request. Organize the message. Address important points first. Next slide. Finally, be courteous when closing and cordially request for specific action. Express appreciation and leave contact information. Next slide. There are 3 common types of routine requests. Next slide. The first is asking for information and action. Again, be accurate and specific. What are you asking of them? Why is it important for the readers to get involved? Why is it beneficial for them? Second, next slide. Asking for recommendations is another very routine request. Before you would hire a contractor to build an office building or a company to fix a sinkhole, there will be requests for references. In order to supply the references permission must first be given. Some companies or people do not wish to be contacted, and their privacy must come first. Once the reference is contacted, they may ask questions to verify their skills, integrity, character, and ability. When asking for a reference, be sure to state why it is needed. In most cases, state that a written letter would be greatly appreciated. When closing the message, make sure and show appreciation for the time that was taken to provide the information. Next slide. The last form of common routine request is making claims and request adjustments. Sometimes things just do not work like they're supposed to. People get in car accidents and have to make claims, or products stop working before their warranty is up. Whatever the case may be, there are 3 areas to cover. Explain the problem and give details. Provide backup information and request specific action. When making the claim, be clear and calm. Be specific and give as many details as possible. Each situation is different. Some you may be able to tell them how to correct the issue, while others you must go through a process that takes months. Next slide.
My name is Mary Goulet, and I will be presenting strategy for routine and positive messages. Outlining an effective strategy for writing routine replies and positive messages. When responding to a request, sending an announcement, or sending a positive message, there are several goals that you need to ensure to effectively communicate with the reader. Answer all the questions and provide all required details, and leave your reader with a good impression of you and your company. It is also best to use the direct approach. The readers receiving these messages will be interested in the message that you are relaying, so it is best to start with the main idea and explain all of the details in the body, and end with a courteous close. Next slide. So because you are sending a positive information, always start with the good news, since that is the main idea of the message. Be sure to be clear and concise. When writing the opening, ask yourself, what is the single most important message I have for my audience? Flip to the next slide. The body of your message will include all of your details. So this is where you need to explain all of your points clearly, so that nobody will be confused or doubtful about the positive message that you are trying to send. Be sure to continue your positive tone throughout the entirety of your message. If by chance that there is a portion of negative information that you have to relay within your message, try to use it in a favorable context. If you are unsure of how the reader will react to the negative information, it is best to use the indirect approach for this particular situation. Flip to the next slide. The ending of a positive message is normally short and simple because you leave things on a positive note. Oftentimes a simple thank you is all you may need. However, if the reader needs to follow up, be sure to be clear and identify who will do what and when it needs to be done. Also, be sure to remind them that the action will benefit them. Flip to the next slide.
Hi, I'm Andrew Ryan, and I will be discussing the 6 main types of positive and routine messages. The 6 most common types of routine and positive messages are requests for information and action, grants of claims and requests for adjustment, recommendations, routine information, good news announcements, and goodwill messages. A knowledge of proper procedures in writing and replying to routine and positive messages will help ensure effective communication. Next slide. First, answering requests for information and action is an essential business communication skill. In order to enhance the image of your organization, requests for information should be answered completely, politely, and in a timely manner. An effective technique to answering a request during a potential sale is focusing on 3 main goals. These goals are respond to the request and make sure you completely answer all questions. Try to favorably affect the reader's image of you and your organization, and try to build a continuing positive business relationship. Next, granting claims and requests for adjustment is an important aspect of strong business relationships. No business is perfect. Every company deals with making mistakes. Only efficient companies know the proper steps to repair a mistake. When responding to a customer complaint, you should first acknowledge that you have received the complaint and show an understanding of the customer's frustration. Then, responsibility to correct the issue should be determined and a plan of resolution should be discussed with the customer. Last, after resolving the issue, you should follow up to make sure the client is satisfied. Another type of routine and positive message is the recommendation letter. An effective recommendation letter should include a candidate's name, position the candidate is applying for, your relationship with the applicant, and any reasons the candidate would be a good organizational fit. Before you write a letter of recommendation, check company policy on recommendation letters. A rise in legal issues over recommendation letters has led to many companies prohibiting employees from writing these types of letters. Next slide. The next common type of message is a message sharing routine information. When sharing routine information, an employee should make sure they cover all the necessary details of the message and make sure to end the message with a positive closing. An example of a positive message is announcing good news. An integral part of building a company's brand is the acknowledgement of positive developments. These acknowledgments spread positive press and enhance a company's image. These messages can utilize news media and social media to reach the general public and company stakeholders. Social media has recently become a popular way companies release these positive developments. The last common type of routine and positive message is a message fostering goodwill. Some business messages are written to directly enhance a relationship. These messages contain helpful information for the reader and have a positive tone. These messages are a key way to build close relationships with all types of businesses. Building positive relationships should be the main goal of any effective business communication practice. All credit for the facts and information in this video go to Bovey and Thill, authors of Business Communication Today, 13th edition. Next slide. Our question for you. Suppose you were the contractor putting in a bid to build a home. The client has asked for specific references to ensure you are capable of handling the job. What steps would you take to provide the client with the necessary information?